I've been DAG for about 6.5 years. The idea behind this position is that foreign nation states can advance their interests at our expense in a number of different ways. They can break the criminal law, they can have people do it for them, or they can exploit our open society, perhaps by buying a company or investing in an American company or exploiting the freedoms we enjoy as Americans. And so I supervise two sections, the counterintelligence and export control section, which focuses on enforcing the criminal law in a variety of ways, and the foreign investment review section, which doesn't do criminal enforcement. It focuses on reviewing economic transactions and investments in critical infrastructure that could leave our country more vulnerable. Sure. So in my lane, a few basic categories. In CES, focusing on economic espionage, foreign states trying to steal IP for the benefit of their own industries. Defeating our export controls or sanctions, meaning stealing military technology or trying to do an end run around sanctions that are designed to protect our security. State-sponsored hacking, either of the government or the private sector. And malign foreign influence, really covert influence, efforts by foreign governments to impact public policy or public opinion. That's mostly on the criminal side. And then in fears or under fears, focusing on investments in U.S. companies that might give a foreign company or foreign government access to sensitive personal data, sensitive technology, or put them in a position to impair critical infrastructure. So I guess I'd list three. One is, over my time, we've become much more willing to attribute malicious hacking activity to foreign governments and to particular individuals, and to call out behavior that isn't consistent with international norms. Second, we've really stepped up our enforcement of FARA, the Foreign Agents Registration Act, which is a transparency statute designed to surface covert influence efforts. And third, we really bulked up fears and expanded the department's role in reviewing foreign investments for threats to data security or privacy. So we really amplify what others are saying. You know, the FBI, the intelligence community, they're really the source of expertise on what the threats are, what the facts are that are unclassified that people should pay attention to. But as lawyers, we speak to a different audience sometimes. We speak to other lawyers. We often find ourselves talking to company executives. So the department's in a position to use its profile and the different audiences we speak to raise awareness of what the FBI and the IC are saying. And then, of course, by prosecuting criminals, we bring a specific type of attention to the problem by showing who's responsible at an individual level and offering that proof in court beyond a reasonable doubt. You know, I think about that from the standpoint of being a senior career person as opposed to a political appointee. What stands out the most is times of transition where a new political leadership comes into the department or into NSD, and you're making a first impression, and you're working to win the trust of people you may not have met before or known before. And learning how to do that, learning how to function as a senior career official, responsible to the political leadership and to different policies and values that they may have, but being in a position to win their trust and confidence, that's memorable to me because it really amplifies my faith in the institution as a whole, as an institution, that when different people come in, by and large, they're adhering to the same core values, have the same objectives, even if they have a different language or means of expressing it. You know, I get that question a lot from law students and others, you know, what should I focus on? I would say the more you can learn about technology, the more you can educate yourself about computer security, whatever your line of work is, whatever you're trying to do, that will help you because it is an increasingly pervasive language. And using a language every day without being able to understand it or speak it isn't great. It's very tempting to try to get through all of your email in one day, to focus on your days on the tasks you have. But the more I've done this job, the more I realize you've got to create space for leadership, for thinking about strategic issues and challenges and where you're trying to go, not just in the next 24 hours or 48 hours, but where you're trying to go over the next 3 months, 6 months, year, or years. It's hard to set aside time to think strategically and to focus on management and leadership, but that's really what you ought to be focused on, and worry less about whether you get to every email every day. I think probably the mission. And we work in a building, no matter what section or division you're in, where the core ethos is to do the right thing. It doesn't matter whether that's embarrassing in the short term or who it helps or hurts politically. There's a very neutral code of values in this building. And I'm very lucky to have been trusted to do that type of work for 16 years, and that's probably something I'm going to miss. Read the news. Every problem we deal with, even problems based on or reflected in highly sensitive intelligence, they are a function of world events that you can read about every day in the newspaper. And so the smarter you are about world events and current events, the more you'll be prepared to be an effective national security official, whether you're a policymaker, an intelligence officer, or a lawyer.